is, as we already discussed in our previous session, first app has to be developed here. Once the application is developed here, and next the router has to be enabled with that application, and which provides like a gateway for us to connect with the different components, to populate the different components. Here we are creating book list, add book. Not only this, we have one more component also here, that is like published. Here only the published books I want. Then what component we can have here? So one component, I just want to create one more component here. That component name is published book. So the component name is published books component, and for this routing also should be there, right? The routing enabled one is simply books, simply slash published here, books slash published here, or published directly. We can use it. It's up to us, whatever we want to use, we can able to use here. In my backend also I defined that with published, right? Method I have defined, yeah, books slash published here. That will be connecting to this service here, book data service, and that will be connecting to another module here, external module called Axios, which we download and which we will import into our application, and which enables us to work with the HTTP server, which is responsible for sending the request and as well as receiving the response from the backend, that is external API here. So for this purpose, now we are going to create this application now. So this would be the URL here. Okay, yeah, for this to happen we have to create React application, and in our backend application, as we have used Java as a programming language, and along with the framework Spring Boot we have used, and for database data storage purpose we have used database module here called MySQL here. Next, when it comes to the front end, we are going to use React, and to apply certain stylings to our application, our pages and all, some bootstrap will be using, and to provide such request and response handling purpose to create that HTTP, we will be using Axios here. So these are the things which we are going to use in our application. So first important thing here is we are going to create a React application here. So how to recreate React application? Simple. We can open our folder wherever the directory we wanted to create our application, and there simply by using create React app, and then we can write that application name, whatever the application name we want to give that application name, we can able to write here. And this is if create React app is already installed in your computer here. So to install that, first we have to install it with the node package manager in our computer. So that is the npm install, that we have to do first only. Or if you don't have create React app in our system already, so directly we can install directly. We can create application npx as a prefix, we can use here directly. Starting here we can use npx create React app and application, and directly we can able to create here. So now we are going to create our application here. This is the folder directory where we have created our bookwork is our backend application, right? This is Spring application, we downloaded it through Spring Initializer and then we opened and all that. So now this is there, and front end I wanted to create now. So for that purpose, in this I wanted to create here. Just I took that address here, and here I wanted to create the React application here. So to create that React application, create React app, I want to give name something like books front end, right? Simply I want to write books front for this. Yeah, the command is not this, the command is create -react app. This will take few seconds, few minutes sometimes. Which are the dependent module, all the modules will be installed. We will wait till it completes the installation and creation. Backend, whatever it is required, supported files, those files will be installed. All these things are supported files which are getting installed here. And once that installation process is done, then our React app would be ready, that is books front. And see here in this folder, yeah, as of now there is no application like books front. Yeah, just now it is created, see 18/6/2020 something like this, just now it is created now. Still the process is happening. It's installing all the dependencies from node package manager here. Yeah, yes, we are done with the creation of React application here, front end application. Yeah, here it will use npm start for development server starting and all. So like that it will give some comments here, but we will use npm start for running here. Yeah, cd means for our directory, we have to change that. So what is the directory in which we created our application is books front is the name, application name. In 1_ path we created it. Yeah, just here. And now I am going to start here. So for that, what we have to use here, npm start we have to use here. Now at the back end it will start the React scripts, and it will open in the directly, it is opening in the browser here, whichever is the default browser for our computer. In that browser, that will be open. Yeah, the application is opened here. So it is only telling edit source in under source app.js for to save and to reload our application, it is asking. So now I am going to open that application now. So where is our application is stored? Our application is in this one path, and this is our application. Books front is the application. Yeah, this is the source here. Yeah, created here. In that, node modules dependencies will be created. Yeah, inside the source we have what? We have something like here app.js. This is the main file here. So that is what it is mentioned here also. Edit and app.js file under source and save to reload it, right? So now this is what I want to do. To do that, I want to open this application first of all in an editor here. We can use any editor, front-end editor we can able to use. IDEs we can use something like Visual Studio Code we can use, or something like Atom or brackets, some other thing we can use all those things here. So here I want to use here Visual Studio Code here. So for that I just copy this path and simply open your command prompt. Already it is running some other command. Yeah, just open that one and go to that drive, E drive, right? And now here just to type that address here, vpath and all. Just go to that, simply type code space dot. That will directly open your code in the Visual Studio Code here. Or else even you can open normal Visual Studio Code, and then there you can add your project to IDE called Visual Studio Code here. Yeah, this is the Visual Studio Code application here, opened in the Visual Studio Code application, open our React app. What is a React app? Book front, right? Books front. Now in this we have some package.json file where all the data related to our application will be there. Books front is the name and also some information will be there here. Okay, and next here git ignore. If you want to put all our code into GitHub and all, we can put, and when we are pushing what are the files should be ignored and all, we'll mention your node modules and all. And now this is the main source. Inside the source here we have app.js right here. You just to click that one, app.js here. Okay, I would like to maximize it. Yeah, in this app.js here we have something like edit source app.js to and save to load it, right? So that is what is mentioned in this also, right? So now if I change something here, that will appear here. So for example purpose, what I want to do here, just to below to that, yeah, just like that I am writing books story application. Just write it, save it, that's it. Absolute, yeah, change, right? That is what I don't want this link here, so that is default link is coming for learning React. That is official React site will be opened here if you click that one, because they mentioned here, see, one link is there with something like this, and an app link is there which will take you to react.js.org. I don't want this, then simply remove it if you don't want. Anchor tag not required, then remove it. Now save it, that will automatically reload it. You know, the link has gone, right? So that is what here. So now in this application we are going to create our components. That is whatever the things which are required for our React application. That is the these components will be creating, and next we'll be creating this one with router will be installing, will be adding router, will add bootstrap also later, router also will be adding, then this application also will be developing, and through which we'll be adding router, and then components, and inside these components we'll write certain code to map with this book service, and then Axios also will be importing, and then we'll be creating the methods here for request and response, that like URLs. To develop the URL, proper URL, we'll be creating the HTTP methods over there. So that is what we are going to develop now. So first we are going to create a data service class for our application. So for that to happen, what I want to do here is, in source folder, first I wanted to create one more new folder here for all services, but as of now where I am adding only books data service, but you can add whatever the service you want to add, you can able to add here. Yeah, under services I wanted to create book data service here, so that is a new file I wanted to create. Book dot service dot js here. So now that file is created. This file is not, but here I just want to create a class here. That's it. So this is a place where I want to define all the methods here. Like get all, get with ID, something like that. Some methods I wanted to define. So now we're just writing some methods like get all, to get with ID. Yeah, this one. So usually we have HTTP and HTTP, we have method like get, you can use here, and see slash books is for all method, all books. Next here get method with ID I am representing, that is for books. Here I have to pass the value ID, that's why I am using this dollar symbol here, because if I normally pass here it will consider as a string here. If I use here underscore dollar like this, then the syntax represents that as number here, ID as a number here. So like this, for put, for saving, we have to create, use one method like something like create method we can create, or save method or create method we can do here, something like that we are going to create now. For update method, create method, like that. So both update and create method. So here we have to pass data here, and the data has to be passed along with the slash books as a URL. The method name should, method type should be post type, and then the entire data will be passed, and then the data will be stored into the database. How that will be stored is, that is again will be done with the backend. What we will do with this service is only simply will map this with this HTTP method, so that this URL will be mapped with this proper API. With that it will be mapped, and once that is mapped here, and then backend Java controller will be executed, and Java controller is anyhow will be connected to repository, right? That is MySQL JPA repository. Through JPA repository it is connected to MySQL, right? So then the update will be done at the backend as well here. Next, delete method here, delete with ID and delete all, delete with ID and delete all here. HTTP delete is a method type. Next, slash books is the URL with passing the ID value here. Next, for deleting all, method is delete all, and directly this is also delete kind of request, but slash books will be the URL here. That's it. These are the main basic functionalities which we are going to do. All other than this, we have something, one thing like extra is there for us, that is like when we tested with our Postman, we searched it with the title, right? Using title value also we can able to search the data, right? So that is also I want to implement here. So to implement that, find by title or find containing title, find by title, something like that. We can create one method here. Yeah. two more methods, new methods here, find by title and get published. See, if you see all these create data, all these methods are like normal methods which you usually see, but this find by title get published are two new methods here. So specific methods to our application. That is the reason even in our backend also, if you remember, in our book repository we just created those things, find by published and find by title content. This is related to backend, but these two are new methods, right? In the same way, to support these two new methods here also, in our front end service also, we have just created two methods here, find by title, where it is also get type only, but title will be passed with some title value, and here books slash publisher, that's it here. So all the books which are published only will be retrieved over there. So with this we are finished with the defining the methods list in the service class here. As it is finished here, and whoever uses this book services, then we have to export here, we have to export new book data service instead, we have to export here, right? So now it is finished. Okay, nice. But the thing is, as we are using HTTP here, okay, but when we talk about that HTTP, which has to be supported by some external module, right? Something like Axios. So now, as of now, there is no Axios kind of thing in our package.json. If you observe here, so all the dependencies will be mentioned here. What are the dependencies are there as of now? React is there, React DOM is there, React script is there, but nowhere we can't see Axios, right? So now we are going to install Axios now. So for that, simply click terminal here. So open the new terminal, and directly we can able to install here. So to install, simply type npm and then Axios, npm install Axios. This will be installing Axios now. This would take few seconds. Yeah, all the files have been installed now. Just go there. Yeah, see, Axios new one is added, right? In the same way, I wanted to add even Bootstrap also for our application. To clear our screen, terminal screen, command prompt, it will act like a command prompt, I told you, right? Here you can see it is a command prompt. So to clear it, just use CLS, and now install one more like Bootstrap here. Simply change this npm install Bootstrap here. For CSS purpose, we are installing the Bootstrap here. Yeah, finished with the installation of Bootstrap as well, right? So as of now we created book services. Yeah, but important thing is this HTTP which is created, but we just used it as a method here. But from where, what module we have to use that HTTP is important, through an external module called Axios. So that I want to create now. So for that to happen, here I want to create one simple file, that is from where we are getting that HTTP common file. So this is like a source for our HTTP. So for that, I'm just writing one name like something HTTP common here, something like this. I want to create HTTP common.json file I want to create here. Yeah, in this I wanted to use this Axios now. So to create that Axios, we'll be using something like create here, default create, one method is there. So here we'll be mentioning something like axios.create here. A base URL will mention. So this is the place where we are connecting our front-end application with the backend now. So this is what our backend, right, which is already we created. Localhost 9000 is our Tomcat server running with Spring Boot as backend application with our application name is web API here, right? Yeah, so your base URL. Other than that, we have to set the header also. The content type should be what? Application dot underscore JSON here, application slash JSON here. So the type would be the application slash HTML format like that, but application dot JSON slash JSON will be there. So the exchange of data here between different websites or between some site to backend will be done in the form of JSON. That's why we'll be writing application slash JSON here. And here we have to import our Axios here. So Axios is a new keyword here, right? And so we have to import it. So import from that module, we have to import it. So this Axios we have to import here from the module called Axios. Axios is already installed, right? So this Axios is a local variable, and that variable we have to import here. That is an instance created. We have to import that Axios module here. That's it. So now I just want to see what is the application happening now. Any error? No, as of now no error is there. It's working fine. If any error is there, it will show that error here. Yeah, Axios I just added here. And now just observe our application here. This is running in port call 3000. Port number is 3000, the default port number here. If we want to change that port number here, yes, we can able to change in our application by creating one environment file here. So I just want to create one environment file here in the source, new file .env, and here we can mention the port number. So simply you can write port here. Here we can mention other port number. So now as 9000 is running as our backend application, I want to give 8081 as front end. Just like that I have given now. And now observe, just go there and reload it. Yeah, still happening. And now save. You can, but not required also. If you want to change it, you can change it. If you don't want to change it anything, just leave as it is. So don't change anything also. So as of now, done with our HTTP common, that is like this is a common file through which we can get our HTTP here directly. So that is isn't directly here. We have to import our HTTP also here. HTTP which is coming from Axios, right? So that's why we have to import HTTP module here. HTTP file. Now it's time for us to create different components here. That is book component, add book component, like this components, book list component we are going to create now. So to create them, you have to create component.js files. You have to create here. Components are nothing but here there are also normal JavaScript classes here, but which should extend it to component class here, default class component. It has to extend it. So simple like so. Book component means like class space book component extends to component here, extends component here. For storing all components in our application, here I am going to create inside the source. I am going to create a new folder for components, storing all 4 components folder here. Yeah, created. Now inside this component I want to create a component. Now book component I wanted to create. So book dot component dot ts here, book dot component dot not ts, component dot js here. Yeah, created. So now in this simple class book component, extends component here. That's it. So now the book component class is created here. So in this, what we have to do here is we have to define what are the properties our book should hold. We have to mention here. So we already know the properties like title and all that, description, author and all these things we are going to mention here as a properties, and then state here. We are going to set the state also, and we will be using those as props here. Props and set status. State, props and state are important things for any React component. That is what I am going to write now. We want to keep the book name here as book only, no book component. Directly I want to use book only. Now here some properties I have just written. So to pass, and I have written all these things. Yeah, change title and all these are properties, and so whenever some change happens here, then we'll be binding this. This means current object with this one, and those values will be assigned here. So for that to happen, on change title, on change description, on change author, so like that I want to define the methods also here. Yeah, here I have written book component, the total component with the view also I have written now. Yeah, so this one, observe on change description and all, and get book, update, delete book, like that. Yeah, here state I defined with current book should have all these values and all, with some message also whether book updated or not, like that I want to give. So for that I give. And component did mount means whenever the component mounts, then what should happen? So this property should match with the parameters id. So everything will be done with the help of id here. Why? Because id is a primary key for us, right? So every book is uniquely identified with the help of id here. And on change title here, so whenever the change happens in the title, then that event target value I am taking and I am storing in variable called title and all. So now what I am doing here, I am doing some programming here, taking previous state as something like this, and here some asynchronous programming I am writing here. So now current book will be previous state book, and that current book I am assigning to current book here. Now this is completed with the on change title. In the same way I am writing this also on change description here. So description value I am getting. Next I am setting that state from previous state to the new state here with property called here description here. Next author also I am doing the same here. On change publisher also doing the same here. Next get book id. So all these are for when change happens, what should happen here. Next is for getting the data. So get book id here. Then what I am using, so this get book is the method I am defining here, but whenever somebody calls this method backend, what should happen? Book data service should be called, and from that get method should be activated. What is that get method is there in the book data service here? Yeah, here get of id here, so that should be activated here. How this book data service is available here? Because here we have imported it, that's why it is available now. On the top we imported book data service from services is our folder. Inside that book service is there, from that we are importing it. Yeah, get book and all. The data will be transferred. And next is update published. So with the status here, it will take the status is like either true or false, it will take the status, and as per that value will be displayed here. All the values will be displayed here, id, title, description, whatever you want to display here, you can able to display here. Next here book data service here with update here. state and id, with id and all data we are, data will contain all the data here. Next, published, we are getting the status here. Then we are logging that information. Error, if any error comes, we catching that error and displaying. Update book, simply book data service dot update, and with current id book we are updating and book also we are updating it. So this update will have two methods, two parameters it will take, right? So whatever we defined here, that is what I have written there. That looks bit lengthy, but the same I am doing. Update method should take two values. What is that? One is id value, next is the data it has to take. That is what I mentioned here also. Update book is the new method I have written in this component, but that internally calls service method only, update method, which take two values, id and book. So that is coming from the current book. So whatever the book we selected, so that book will be updated here. Clear? So next, the message also will be printed something like book is updated successfully here. Next is delete book, simply it will delete the book and nothing will be published here. Simply it will be from that history, it will be push will come and that will be deleted here. Next, for this to happen, I want to create some HTML here. So for that, here I used some render function here. So this state, current state of the book, considering as current book here. Now here I created one HTML view I created for React here, displaying purpose. Yeah, if division opened here, if current book is existed, then this HTML data has to be displayed here. So from here, yeah, till here it has to be displayed here. If it is existed, this current is there. If not there, then we'll be simply publishing it. We'll be publishing and then other data will be displayed. So the rendering of HTML here is of two parts here. One is one form will be there and where we will be updating the data, and other is all the updated data will be available for us to edit it. So this is what about our book component here. Yeah, in this all these things I use buttons and all. On click, then what should happen? This dot delete should happen because delete button this one. So like that I have created here. They like the same. So this is about the book component here. Once the application is completed, then you will be having a full-fledged idea. So what is this? Please click where we are clicking and all, we can able to see that now. So just wait for few minutes. We can create one more other components also here. Yeah, I want to create one more component here, that is like what are the components left out: published book component, add book component, book list component. So now I am creating published book component now. So for that, take components folder here, select component folder, create new file, published book.js here. So now that will create published book here. So here I want to create same here again, one class will be there that has to be extended to component class, default class that I am going to write now. Yeah, I just created it now. So this is for activating the link, refreshing the link, and retrieving the links and all. So those things are mentioned here, and properties also there, and say state here defined with books array, current book and current books book index, and title also if you want to search through site title here. So I don't want to apply search here, I started, but in published book I don't want to search, but in normal get all books is there, right? So there I want to write books list is there, right? There I want to search it with the help of title here. But published book, not searching directly all the books. If you click that published, all the books which are published will come. So now I am writing the main method called retrieve books, and here see book data service only I am calling, and from that get published book method I am calling. What is there in the get published method? Get of books slash published is the URL here, that should be matched with that. Yeah, next what should happen? So response data should be set with the books property here. That's it. All the data has to be displayed. Next simply here refreshing it. Next set active, that one we are making it as current index value. Remove all books, if you want to remove you can able to develop remove, but remove also I don't want to do much here. Now simply I am creating one table here with the help of bootstrap here. That is the place here the bootstrap will come into picture. Here I am writing some class name here, list row, some column, medium column with the 6 size, and also for that to happen. So here we can, so the default it is there, right? So that will be used here, so we can able to work with that one. Link also I want to use, but I no need to use link here. And yeah, list I created here. Yeah, so here what happens is all the published books list will be displayed, while books and books will be mapped with the property called index here. Now list group item, all if that matches with the current index and all, that should be active. Whatever is clicked, that should be active. Active means whichever we are clicking, that will be in some blue color or something like highlighted color will be there, and set that active book with the index here. Next, that book title has to be displayed here. Whichever is activated, that book title has to be displayed here. And for removing also I have written, but removing I don't want to do in the published books again, only in the all books are there, right? In that only I want to remove. Next, update current book is done, right? And next the data I have to display. This is about till now activating the book, which book has to be activated. Then whatever the book activated, the book data has to be displayed here. How it has to be displayed? Book will be next to title with the current title and current description, current book, other published or not, something like that. Some data has to be displayed here. Link also I don't want to do any editing here. Yeah, that is about our published book component here. And here next important component is here books list component. So we are going to create that books list component now. So for that, just open this one, just go to your components and create a new file. Books hyphen list hyphen component .ts here, not .js, that will display that one. So now here I am going to create that books list class here. With all the required methods as well as with all the required HTML view also will be creating now. Here I just finished this one. See all the properties on the change service, retrieve books, refresh list and all. So here it will represent the list here. Total list will be printed here, same as published book, same will be there, almost all same I did here also. But extra thing here is you remove all books will be there, such a title will be there, all these things will be there. And this is the links, different links I created. Here is the table here, list row and some background colors also I mentioned. So for this to work, there should be some CSS, means like bootstrap, has to be used here. Yeah, searching also we will do here. Next, books list will be displayed here. All the data will be displayed. Remove all, if you click remove all the data will be removed here. Next, author, publisher, and all the data is displayed here. If the current book is published, then published will be there, else pending will be there. Status we are defining here, and buttons we are creating here. For routing purpose we are using React router here. So means React router has to be installed now, so then we can able to use here. React router DOM we have to use now, so to use it we have to install it now. As it is important, just I imported here, but that has to be installed here. So for that purpose here I am writing that one. So that will be installing at the back end, and we will see our other work now. Yeah, now the active set active book will be activated. Remove books, that author and all the total data will be displayed in the books list component here. And the next important component, which is the React router DOM, is also imported.